Hi, welcome everybody. Hope you guys are having an amazing day out there. I remain Marcos, and with me is
Cozy, yeah. So it's a great day, another wonderful day, and yeah, we're here again. As usual with our show, we brainstorm ideas on the spot on creative ways we can, living in Nigeria, make our money and get ourselves a better life. So, uh, like we mentioned in previous episodes, we are mostly going to be doing documentation, counting and recounting some of the steps we've taken so far to get to where we are right now. So currently, some of the things we have planned, like we said, we've listed in previous videos, some of the ideas we want to work on. And today we were actually supposed to do something, like go out there and see how easy it is to get a driver's license, but because of one or two challenges, it has been raining and actually the whole system of getting a driver's license in Nigeria, it's not very, very straightforward and not very efficient,
mm,
because I don't know, because we both live in different states currently. Is currently visiting me, for a period of time here in River State, and over in Delta. Can you tell us a little bit how easy or difficult it is to get a license in Delta State?
I don't really know how the process works,
Mm.
but I think in Edo States it's just basically you get to a licensing officer, get in contact with the licensing officer,
Mm.
and you just do your capturing and everything, drop the necessary documentations, and give you a time for your capturing. After the capturing, they give you some weeks or months for your. After your capturing, they'll give you a temporary one that you can be using within a period of time. And
Mm.
after that, I think they will give you the original, let me say the permanent one,
Mm.
which is renewable, I think yearly or 2 years interval.
Mm.
Can't really pick that right now, but is that's how it goes. I know some people that have done theirs in
Mm.
Edo State, per se, but
Mm.
not really been in Delta State. So for a long time, I'm just going there right now. I've been in Edo State. So but I think the process across Nigeria should be the same. It's just that the level of difficulty, because individuals are different.
Mm.
So you might come to my office today and the kind of mood I am, I don't want to answer you. You know that's how the Nigeria workforce is. And instead of them doing their job, they want to stress you
Mm.
by telling you that they don't have time and they are doing nothing. So it's just this process of getting it is the same across board. But then the individuals are the ones that cause the stress and maybe
Mm.
network issues, because Nigeria, most of our licensing office, I think we always encounter these network issues every
Mm.
time.
Mm.
You can see from you registering for your name, that's your national identification
Yeah,
number.
that was a
It
major
gives you
problem.
stress, and they're always going to tell you that, oh, the network, the server is down, the network is not good, we can capture you, we can access the details of your form. So
Mm.
those are just the things that causes the stress. If not, the process generally is not supposed to be difficult.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
just want to.
Yeah, actually, though, you are very right in that area, but it's opens up a new question, like what is actually causing this difficulty? If you look at, I don't know for a fact if it's the same everywhere else, but we mostly use these Western countries as an example, and maybe what they portray in the movies, might not be the same, might not be the reality, but the way they portray getting a driver's license over there on the use of all this system, just like the same way we have here, they make it look as if it's like a very straightforward and easy process, smooth going. So maybe this is a question we can just put out. If you are outside Nigeria, I mean, I would like to know, if it's the same, if you guys encounter the same difficulty, in
I think the Nigerian society
mm,
is more flexible
mm,
because we tend not to follow due process, which is very bad. Because normally, before you get a driver's license, or like your first time trying to acquire a driver's license,
mm,
you are supposed to pass the driving test.
mm,
And then there are going to be categories of the vehicles, the kind of engine, those kind of how big the vehicle is or how small it is. Those are the tests you do.
mm,
So I don't know the kind of driver's license to give you, but I think in Nigeria, that's why we have most. We I think the issues we're having in Nigeria is we have people that don't know driving rules because they didn't go to driving school, so they
mm,
didn't really learn how to drive. They just, maybe my friend have a car, my dad has a car, I'll just start learning from my dad. And what those people teach you is those ones too, they didn't go to driving school, so they don't even know the rules, the distance you're supposed to give before every junction where you are navigating to, how many meters to the junction will you try to start navigating, those rules, the distance between you and the car in front of you
mm,
during traffic, how you're supposed to drive, those kind of things, those
mm,
rules are what you're supposed to obtain in the driving school. But then we don't do that. And the licensing office, that is the office in charge of doing this thing, are not being thorough. They just believe that maybe once you go there now, you know how to drive. They don't even need fact checking. You just pay your money and then they start the process. At
mm,
least from some of the people I've seen.
mm,
I don't know if it's like that across all board. But that's not the issue. That's what I'm saying. That is not the issue in Nigeria, so in obtaining driver's license.
mm,
But over there, you need to pass the test. That's the difficulty there. You need to pass the test that, oh, you're a good driver. You know how to drive right now. Okay, come. That's why they give you a series of tests after you're learning. They give you an instructor.
mm,
The instructor will not pass you. Once
mm,
the instructor pass you, and the governing body or the those in charge of licensing can actually give you that license, which is not so for Nigeria.
That's actually,
Generally, it's supposed to be like that, but then sometimes the rules are just changing and changing.
you know, this is also something, yeah, that's what you just pointed at now. It's something that's observed, in not just the driving sector, like almost all sectors of the Nigerian society. It feels as if like, or it's as if like we jumped the ship. We put the cart before the horse. Like we didn't go through the due process
Yeah,
in all this system, even in the education system. Like, but I don't really know though. I mean, right now I'm just,
it's not general though. It's just sometimes.
what
Sometimes
we
they
say,
go through the process.
most of the
Sometimes,
systems actually still have this
yeah.
backdrop.
What I think I'll pick that caused this thing
Mm,
is the fact that it becomes easier for people to follow the back channel
mm,
than following the due process,
mm,
because they tend not to attend to those that are trying to follow the due process.
mm,
Then those back channel guys comes in and in 2 weeks they get their stuff and they are up and running.
mm.
Like, because the reason why we're having this conversation now is if you want to go into like driving to earn income,
Yes.
you want to go into the boat system, the Uber system, one of these driving stuff to
Mm,
earn money, you need to have your license, you need
yes,
to do this thing.
exactly.
So some people, maybe me and you now, we approach the licensing office together,
Okay.
and me, I know the back channel.
Okay.
I go there, go through the back, and then boom, I'm with my license in 2 weeks. I've started working, I've started earning money.
Mm,
While you are still there waiting for
for
the
the
process,
process.
waiting for, so that kind of attitude has really has really affected the society.
Mm.
So everybody tends to, oh, this is the best, this is the channel, this is the best. You can imagine when you are trying to obtain your international passport,
Mm.
your Nigeria passport.
Mm.
When you go online, you see the fee, you see everything.
Mm.
You can just pay online, you can just start it and book a date for capturing.
Mm.
If you go through that process, when you get to the immigration office,
Mm.
there's how the thing is going to play out.
Mm.
It's going to be a little bit like there will be some hold up. But if you carry your money, go to that place, tell them you want express, tell them bah, they will sharp. You get your passport, you pay more money. That's
True.
why now we are seeing 70,000 naira,
Mm.
80,000 naira for Nigeria. But if you go online now, how much? About 25, 30, 40,000.
Mm.
So those are the back channeling of everything in Nigeria is now causing people not to follow the rule, because now when you follow the rule,
Mm.
it's like you lose time,
That's
and
true.
by losing time, you're losing money.
Money.
That's just
I don't know, like how can we correct this old back channel mentality? Is it even a system that we can actually correct, or it's just something that we have to live with and just adapt to and keep it going? Or
our
should there be like a rebranding, or like what can be done?
well,
Because if you look at this system now, from what you explained, it seems as if it favors people who are more aggressive in getting what they want. Like people who are willing to shout
cut
and
corners.
cut corners. Like people who are timid, gentle. I don't definitely have developed some of that aggressive nature by being in this country for extended period of time. But if you are raising like a young person now in this country, for the younger generations now, uh, obviously they are seeing these things. Their parents are telling them stuff, and this definitely isn't the right way. You know, and at the same time, it's being transferred over to these younger people. That when you were going to this place, old small change to tip the officer so they would attend to you faster. But is this a system that we can really build upon in the long term in future, or should we actually figure out a way to resist the back channeling of most ventures? Or like, what are your thoughts on
From
that?
every thoughtful person and every good person, I think it's not really good to support a failed system.
Mm.
It's for you to work as an individual, start doing your part. That's
Mm.
why community building starts with you. When you see this kind of back channeling, don't use it. Go to the proper channel.
And
It
like
starts
with
with you.
what you said now, we're all on a tight schedule now,
Yeah.
trying to get funding. Definitely somebody that's hungry or trying to get food for their family. Because from what we're talking about right here now, this is something, is a way to generate money for the youths, for anybody between the age of 18 and above. You want to go into this means of work to sustain yourself, and you need this thing within a specific time frame.
Yeah.
And you're getting hungry. I mean, you're losing money, like you said, as time goes on. It's really a difficult thing to tell somebody to don't follow the back channel because you're trying to
Yeah,
build.
you see this back channeling of a thing,
Mm.
huh? It's across all board, across our country, everywhere you go,
Mm.
there is something like that going on. There are people that don't need to come to the office to get their license. So, but then when it's not in a large scale, it's as a result of a failing society and a failed government.
Mm.
Because most of these people, from my own knowledge, I don't really know much about them. They are government employees. They are being paid by the government.
Mm.
You see the immigration officers, they are paid by the government. You see the customs, everybody. So you see all these various institutions. Let's not say Nigeria as per se, but then people generally, when they're in a particular office,
Mm.
they are the boss. They tend to just ride on people.
Mm.
That's why before these things can be eradicated, we need to start having good individuals. And that's what I'm saying. It starts with us. When you are not there, be a good. Just do your job diligently. You are working. What is your working time? Don't. The problem with these things is this: since they've seen that okay, I can be getting this cut, there's no proper um supervision. There's no
Mm.
proper supervision going on. So they know that okay, maybe in a month I'm earning about 80,000 naira from the
Mm.
government, and before that month I can deal with about 10 persons,
Mm.
and those 10 people can give me at least 10,000 naira each. That's 100,000 naira
Addition to your 80,000.
in addition to your 80,000.
Mm.
And then there is no supervisory body that comes every time now and then to supervise how work is being done by government officials. You see, if I work my 10 people, let's say one a day,
Mm.
I'm okay. So I will just be there in the office, and my one guy comes in, bam, and I've attended to him. He has given me the 10,000. Those of you that don't want to give me money, I will be so, what's the word,
Bicycle.
lackadaisically. I will be so lukewarm. I will be so slow
To attend to
to
you.
attend to you, because I'm not just like late 2 o'clock, which I'm closing for the day. You can use school when we're in school as a case study now.
Mm.
You see, when you go to those offices where you want to change receipt, I thank God, because towards the third year or second year they
Mm.
changed the system.
Mm.
But initially you have to change your receipt,
Yeah.
your teller to receipt
The other
first.
stuff.
You see the process of doing that.
Mm.
You go there and they'll tell you by 1 o'clock we'll stop attending to you guys. So line up, do this, and then you see people going through the back,
Mm.
paying 500, change your own shop. So it even starts from there.
There's the institution.
Those ones now, they don't even care about you. They'll just delay, and that's why you see some people did their clearance 200 level.
Mm.
100 level clearance that's supposed to be,
Yeah.
they will carry it over to 200 level to go and do, because no time, no attendance, and there's no monitoring body to
Well,
checkmate all these things.
the problem now is the fact that the failure of this system now,
As a result of a failed government.
aside of the government, because from what you described now, at the individual level, there's still some level of failure, you know. But
Yeah,
it's an hard thing to ask for somebody to work a certain job and live below their means. So what do I mean by that now? For this example you gave currently with somebody, uh, normal office payments 80,000, and in addition with cuts they may get from the back channel, can take their salary up to 180,000. And see somebody like that, maybe there's one individual in the same office, who is refusing to do this old back channel and corrupt practices. The backlash that individual will receive from the society, from his fellow co-workers, would just be too much to bear sometimes. And that's like a problem that's very common, like the peer pressure to participate in these activities, not just from the co-workers, like I said, like from the community and the society as a whole. Like the rate at which the price of things keep changing. Like there are so many areas where we need a checkpoint. We need like serious. We need people to really say something in this country and stick by it. Like for instance, now I mentioned the other day, before you came, I said I bought something like a kilo of chicken for around 2,400. And when we went to buy a couple of days back, it has gone up to 2,500. I mean, what were the factors that affected the change of the price in such a short time? We've talked about this before in one of our videos that, price changes due to increase in fuel, difficult. But in this case, now there was really no increase in fuel at this point in time, and still the price went up. So what you are saying right now is like we really do need a system of checks and balance in this country to keep things at bay, to keep things the same, uniform, and not just in the driving sector, in the ministry and all this. Like every sector, there has to be like, okay, why is the price going up for this item? Why is this service not functioning? Because there are so many other services that are failing in this country. The public health sector, one for one. uh, I don't know how it is fully, in the advanced countries, but healthcare, education and all this stuff should be actually free, for the citizens of a country. You should be able to walk into an hospital and get like at least basic healthcare treatment. But that's just not the reality. You see our doctors traveling out of the country and all this old malpractice behavior, and it's really something that's not good at all. Like you said, it's something that we really need a way to figure out how to actually solve this problem of back channeling. Because me and like, I mean, uh, just like what I said, somebody that's hungry, somebody that has family to feed, somebody that's trying to pay their bills, you can't expect them to cooperate or just be the shining light or the knight in shining armor. It's a difficult thing to ask of somebody, but I don't know. Maybe we can try, to set an example, and we encourage other people to try to set an example. But we need that system where everybody is cooperating, to make this a reality.
Yeah.
That's what we really need. We need the system where everybody is putting their heads together to say, okay, this thing is not working. That's I think that's where the real problem lies in this whole situation. There's no unity among all the parties involved. It's
Yeah,
just like
it's all boils down.
let me finish. It's just like once I solve my own problem, nothing concern me again. Go and figure out how
Yeah,
your own. So that's something like I don't know how we can really be so united as to the fact to the point where like okay, you carry your fellow Nigerian or you carry your fellow brothers like, man, I can't slide this person. If it's not going well for me, I have to figure out a way for it to go well for all of us rather for it to go well for just me. We have to break free from that selfish mindset, of self unitism, and start thinking more in terms of a collective. So,
all right. It's all boils down to
mm,
government not working, because whether we like it or not,
mm,
everybody cannot have the same interest,
mm,
and therefore we cannot be totally united.
mm,
We can be united for a particular goal, but then we can is because the way it is now, I have a problem to solve for myself. You have your own problem
mm,
to solve. Then I have a channel to solve mine.
mm,
That's why there's government. in the first place. The government is to make sure that there's check so that the unity of the nation can be one. Because
But in a
individually,
system now that like we currently have,
the
that the
system we
government
have
is
now
failing
is
now.
the government need to wake up first. Because
But can we really, really
there's nothing
rely
you
on the
can
government?
do about a government worker not doing his work. Only the government has something to do. When you report those kind of behaviors to the government, are actions taken?
Mm,
Those are the questions you now start asking. Okay, I've seen this foul play going on in this system now. What kind? There's nothing you can do other than reporting to the superior. And who are the superiors? The government. So if the government can work, look into these things, okay, be more vigilant, give the people the proper care they need,
mm,
everything will be fine. Because most people go into crime because of maybe they don't have any this thing
mm,
to work with. Like they are not earning enough.
mm,
So you see them now, they start going into crime and the rest and everything. That's why they start cutting corners in their offices to see how they can raise extra income.
mm,
You get so that's why I'm just pointing out that for a society to work, the government more than the individuals,
mm,
because there's a rule of law.
mm,
There are all these things. If there's no enforcing of a law, the law can be broken at any time. These things we are talking about, so there are actually rules against them. Malpractices in your workplace,
mm,
there are rules. Even in the higher institution, there are rules that governs how lecturers are supposed to operate. There are rules that govern everything in this country. It's just the enforcement of this thing that is the problem. So if we can get a good running government that can actually look into this thing, and what is the difficulty? We have the data. We keep talking about this thing. There is database of every.
yeah,
What does it take a whole Nigeria? Nigeria is a very great country. Nigeria cannot fix server issue. A whole Nigeria, they're having issues with accessing citizen data when they don't have the complete. We are almost 200 and something million people. They don't have the database of every Nigerian. I can promise you that that they don't have it. And the one, let's say they have about 150 million, they cannot manage that data. It's a problem. So the problem is private individuals cannot really do more. That's why the only thing we can do as private is that you be a responsible citizen, follow the rules, follow the law of the land. That's what you do in your own corner. But you cannot actually influence the next person that does not want to do that. Only the government can influence because you don't have the power to enforce the law. Only the government have the power to enforce the law.
what is the government?
Government is the representative of the people, the higher power.
No, if they are truly the representative of the people, why is the system failing?
It boils down to human factor and human greed.
Human factor, human greed.
Yeah,
So
because when you see,
human factor, human greed. That behavior, I mean, it doesn't go away. Human greed is in all of us,
yeah,
and
if we have a
even
government
if
that
we
want to
have
work for the people, we
even if
don't have that kind of government in Nigeria.
even if we have a government at one point in time that wants to work for the people and is good and everything, what's stopping that government from changing? Because they all have a tenure, obviously.
Yes, that
If a good person comes in, what are the likelihood that a good person will continue to
to
come
come in.
in consistently for the rest of your life?
If a good person comes in now,
Mm,
there are things, um, there are things he's going to lay down.
mm.
There are structures he's going to put in place that will check all these things.
I believe there have been good governments in this country, who have laid down such structures. But
No.
after their tenure, the whole system fell apart.
Now we what you do as a government, I don't think there's any government that really come and look into some all these things we're talking about. They see them as not really necessary. As far as the job is getting done, they don't care how it gets done. When you look at countries that are working, countries that these kind of things are not so prominent because it
You know what
happens
I would say
everywhere.
though? It's like as much as we want to pass the blame over to the government, I don't really believe the government is the solution to all of these issues. It's more on an individual level. Like if the people who make the government, like you said, are not willing to change, if the new mindset is not being imputed in the younger generation, I mean, the government won't really do much. Even if the system is all set up, and if the people of the land don't have that mindset of continuity of like saying, okay, this thing we really want something good, I mean, nothing is going to change.
You know the reason why there is law and
That's what
order.
I'm saying. The
It's
law,
not because
the
there are
law, the law and order now,
wait,
it
it's not
doesn't
be
carry on. It's like the law only applies to the common man.
no, it does not apply to you. The law is there, it carries on.
I
When there's
don't
a law in
believe
place,
that's
there's a
true.
law that says you cannot bear arms in Nigeria as a private citizen.
But they are private citizens with arms.
There are process to owning an arm in Nigeria. There are
There are
the kind
private
of
citizens with arms in Nigeria who do not follow that process.
yeah. And when you are caught, what happens to you? You are
You,
arrested.
you are arrested in the public eye, and
It's not about being arrested in whether see, okay, why is that not working? The fact is remains that policies are put in place to checkmate things. If those things are not being followed, it cannot be followed by everybody in anywhere. There's no even as orderly as South Koreans are or Japan's the way they are Japanese or the South Koreans, the way there are people that still don't want to follow rules in those kind of countries. There are people that want to break the rules. There are people that cut corner even in government. But then,
so if
do
there
you
are still
think
people that will break the rules in a system of governance and government, then I mean it's a failing system altogether, and we
there's
should
always
not
going to
be
be people to break the
trying
rule?
to fix a failing
If you don't
system.
try to fix it, it will not go out of hand. So, in
I
making
mean,
sure it does not go
what
out
if
of hand,
a new system is implemented instead altogether, and the whole idea of governance and politics and all this stuff is
the
completely
new idea
scrapped?
you want to put now, what makes you think human factor will not stay affected?
Yeah, obviously.
So that's it.
But if we want to compare the two systems, maybe the new system would be
No, the
better.
question we're going to be asking ourselves in the normal term is why is some countries better than some other countries? What are those things those ones are doing that
Mm.
we are not doing? So we'll now start looking at those things and trying to implement them in our own society to see if it will work. So that brings us to the conclusion of today. Obtaining licenses, obtaining things in Nigeria, the difficulty in it, and what the problem is about, which we've not been able to really figure out what the problem is. But then, getting a driver's license is one of the ways to start earning income in the driving business, the Bolt, the Uber, and other private companies where you can drive and earn money. It's a very good way. You just do most companies now say they give you car. Just come with your driver's license, they do their background check on you, test you if you can drive, and then they give you this car to work with, and then you balance. It's a way people make money now. Even you see microfinance banks giving people taxis, giving people keke, and all these things. This is the way you can, as a youth, you can actually go into one of these, learn how to drive a car, and start earning while driving. Thank you.
Okay, guess we'll see you guys in the next one. We got all philosophical in this episode, you know, talking about lots of stuff. But yeah, it's what my Walkman show is all about, you know. It's all on the spot, and we may go off on a tangent now and then, but it's all for the betterment of ourselves and for the youths of the
Yeah,
country.
our viewers are there.
All right,
All right,
guys.
till next time, stay blessed.
Cool.